it just ended real crazy. We in the heat of it right now. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a lot, man. Ref got in the way. We trying to make our own destiny. I don't know. This is live, so we getting ready to just kind of take it as we see it. But as of now, we out. We gone. This is it. There's no more playoffs for the Dallas Cowboys. So, but we go talk about everything and try to break it down play by play as we saw it. Yeah, I know everybody feeling real stank, and we all should. I feel stank. This whole game felt like garbage, but we gonna still talk about it. Here at the Boss Cowboy Sports, I'm gonna definitely be in the moment with you, my friends. We go just kind of go over this. We go talk about this. We go try to keep our pause as we kind of go through this whole situation. But yeah, L, Big L. What's up, OC?
What's up, Boss Cowboy? Oh, man. You know what? Got a lot to say, man. And you know what, man? We won and done, man. We out of there. We had every possible opportunity to win this football game. Every possible opportunity. And, we'll get into it in the show in a couple minutes, man. But we didn't take advantage of it. And we got the result of a team that came in here with a good game plan and that executed, and they got the W. And so San Francisco advances. The Cowboys go fishing. But listen, we not going fishing. This will be the first of many off-season shows. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this content, okay? Please turn on your bell notification icons for the latest and greatest in Cowboy sports and news, postseason wrap-up. We got draft coming. We got so much more. So y'all stay tuned.
All right, we got a lot of people coming in the building, so obviously we're going to play this intro. And let's go buy everybody some time to kind of get on in here. People getting the notifications right now, so yeah, somebody asked me. Boss, is McCarthy getting fired? No, he's not getting fired. But man, it's getting ready to be like a lot of change in this offseason. It's going to be a lot of change. So we're going to have to watch them break it back down and rebuild it all over again. And then, we're going to be here the whole way. We're going to be here. We're not going nowhere. Somebody said fire McCarthy now. I don't think it's time for McCarthy to go. I don't think that's the solution. Unless you get a good upgrade, I'm hoping to talk about that. Penalties were ridiculous for us, uncalled for, yeah. But a lot of those penalties was our fault. That's how I see it. So, just be honest, man. A lot of those penalties, it was a lot of pre-snap penalties. That stuff, we ain't talking about aggressive penalties like holding. We ain't talking about that type of stuff. We ain't talking about execution penalties. We talking about brain farts, preparedness, readiness, discipline. Somebody said, please don't kill.
Me and my hitters go all out. Ball out. about to take them all out. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Me and my hitters go all out. We about to take them all out. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Ball out, ball out. We about to take them all out. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Me and my hitters go all out. We about to take them all out. Dropping by the mall out. Come deliver mail on y'all route. Show them what it's all about. Get called out. Fall out, fall out. Me and my clique, we don't fall out. Me and my chick, we don't fall out. We minding our business, keep y'all out. Break up, get up quick, then we hit licks till it's all out. I hate my job, I'ma call out. Boss of myself, job out. I'm a recruiter, a high percentage shooters. Gotta keep rifles and Rugers. Some people just trifling and losers. Watch for the jackets at night, they be cruising. I can put together. A.R. Kinston Yetta. My hitters be tougher than leather. Can't nobody do it better. Glock 9 with the F. Step in with my best friends. Best friends with the West End. If you miss
Big L, man.
10. Ball out, ball out. Stall out. Pulling up outside the y'all house. Empty till we all out. I got the juice and I'm crazy. If you not a killer, don't say. Hit squad ain't nothing to play with. Undertaker and a grave dig. Best man like Tay Diggs. When you in the paint, gotta play big. Hitters acting like cavemen. Went from good fellas to made men. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Shout out, ball out, ball out. Get called out. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Ball out, ball out. We about to take them all out. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Me and my hitters go all out. We about to take them all out. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out.
Boss Cowboys Sport in the building. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your bell notification icon for the latest and greatest in Cowboys sports and news. The Cowboys versus San Francisco. The Cowboys lose. The Cowboys lose. The Cowboys lose. And we're out, and the Cowboys are going fishing. Boss Cowboy, I got so much to say about this, but what say you, Boss Cowboy? Talk to the people.
No, I was dead serious, man. Go ahead, because I'm going to go get me something to drink real quick. I'll be right back. You take your sweet time.
Yeah. Yeah, so listen, guys, as it relates to this game, there are a lot of things that I could say, and I could go on and on. But first of all, obviously, the penalties. We had 14 penalties in this game. We had multiple offensive line penalties that really hurt the team. We had 2 offsides. We had a holding call by Collins, had a holding call by, actually, I believe 2 holding calls by Connor Williams. Illegal procedure, defensive holding, delay a game, on and on we go. So because we made the same mistakes that you typically would make in a preseason game, it was just too much to overcome with the San Francisco 49ers. Like I say, you play silly games, you get silly prizes, and we get this W, which is ridiculous. We should not have lost this football game, but we lose it going away. Also, when you look at this game and the whole setup and prediction of the game, me and Boss Cowboy did some breakdowns on this earlier this week. We knew going into this football game that we would have to stop the run. And we were very ineffective at stopping the run. We knew also that we would have to neutralize and we would have to take or limit Deebo Samuels in this game from a running back position and also a wide receiver position. We did not limit Deebo Samuels. He made big play after big play after big play. Third thing, we also knew that we would have to try to pressure Garoppolo. And hats off to the 49ers in terms of what they did in Shanahan, because they schemed this game perfectly versus us in the sense that they would line up in power formations and they would bootleg out and hit open receivers, or they would have Garoppolo in the pocket and they would throw quick 2 routes to the wide receivers, thus keeping them clean. So we were unable to stop the run game and slow it down, and we were unable to really put significant pressure on Garoppolo, which hurt us there. And if we look to the offensive side of the ball, I do question the play calling. I very much so question the play calling, because especially when we have we're on the 30-yard line, 40-yard line with 12 seconds left. Why do we run a quarterback draw? Why? Why is that the call? Why in the world do we run a quarterback draw? Also, earlier in the game, we abandoned the run. When we got down by a couple scores, we began to abandon the run. And historically, we abandon the run too much, too often versus physical and tough football teams, which ultimately causes us to have the defense on the field too much and for our defense to get ran down and to inevitably break later in games. Furthermore, we did not challenge the weak cornerbacks of the San Francisco 49ers. We did not. So, because we did not challenge these guys, we allowed everything to sit right in front of us. We allowed them to have everything sit right in front of them. In other words, we didn't take the deep shots and try to throw the football over the top. And because we didn't take deep shots and try to throw the football over the top, they could come up very, very aggressively and play 7, 8, 9 men in the box and attack us and try to limit the run game. When we did commit to the run game, when we did actually try to effectively run the ball, Ezekiel Elliott was fairly effective in this game. But when we got down and on first downs, we did not run the football. And when we get behind on the chains, guess what we're doing? We're throwing the football every single time. So it was a whole cocktail, Boss Cowboy, a whole big old pot of gumbo of reasons why we lost this football game. This was not Dak Prescott's best football game. I'm sorry. Dak actually did have receivers available that he, A, didn't recognize they were open, B, missed a couple throws that in the playoffs, unfortunately, when the games get tight and points are really hard to come by, you cannot miss those type of throws.
Yeah. I tell you what, man. I would say this. We beat ourselves, man. We beat ourselves. See, it was some stuff that I saw that I really hated, man. The sense of urgency when we was behind was bad. It was like when CeeDee Lamb got that call with Dak for not being set. He was loafing, man. He was super jogging out that huddle. He was taking his sweet time and we was behind. It was no sense of urgency, man. And it was the feeling of the entire offense too. It's like when we flat, it's like we don't know, we have no energy. And we've seen that throughout the season. When we was flat, we didn't get out of it. That's what I definitely saw. And then even Diggs, when he got beat by I forgot the receiver name. All you get, you know what I'm talking about, the number 11.
Yeah. Yep.
When he got beat on that play, he started loafing. Like, these guys did not even play like it was the playoffs, and I'm dead serious, man. I'm dead serious. It was, and I'm gonna just pause right there, man. Let you kind of rock with that. Then we'll take some calls.
Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, Boss Cowboy and Cowboy Nation, man, here's the deal. When you play silly games, you get silly prizes. You're silly to have 14 penalties in a playoff game. You didn't correct the mistakes of yesteryear from the regular season, thus causing you to lose a game versus a physical football team. And unfortunately, and I hate to say I told you so, but the OC told you so. Because I said we needed a signature win. We needed to show that we could beat a team that came out with intensity and that came out very, very physical versus us. We didn't do it, unfortunately, the first game versus Tampa Bay. We didn't do it when we had an opportunity to do it versus the Denver Broncos. We didn't do it when we had an opportunity to do it against Arizona. You know, we didn't do it when we had a chance to do it against Arizona. And we didn't do it today. And so we never matched force with force. And I think that this is a systematic problem in the sense of how these guys are coached and how they are pushed from training camp. And I said this months and months ago up until now. This is the game of football. And it doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter how well you draw plays. It doesn't matter how you have schemes and pieces. It doesn't matter, Boss Cowboy. At the end of the day, at some point, you're going to have to see a man and beat a man. You're going to have to be able to knock somebody off the football, and you're going to have to work as if your life depends on it. And we operate, unfortunately, to too much of an extent, and it began to change defensively, but I don't know if it's changed offensively, with a sense of nonchalantness and a sense of a lack of urgency. And that says to me, Boss Cowboy, and I want to get your thoughts about this, that the coaches didn't set the tempo and the intensity level that was appropriate for playoff football.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same pattern. It's flat. When they flat, they don't get out of it. We talked about that early in the season when we saw them flat versus Denver, and we start talking about who are the emotional leaders, who are the guys that's going to be able to pump the guys back up, you know, because we saw that, you know, on certain teams, and they were flat. I still say the defense played a good game, a real good game. I think for the most part, they was let down by offense. I think for the most part. I think even the measurement at the end was a microcosm of this whole season, where the defense basically got it like an inch away. Because remember, we was real bad on defense last year. To patch together that type of defense and do the job that they did, I don't fault this defense. Win or lose, I feel like those guys really laid it out there and they gave us a chance. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that you win as a team and you lose as a team, Boss Cowboy. It was definite things that the defense could have done better. And, you could point to individuals on this. You got Diggs getting beat by double moves. You did have, cavernous gaps, right, when they did the power toss, which I did a breakdown on. I didn't get a chance to drop this video, but I did earlier in the week. And here's the deal, man. You're going to have to understand the needs of this defense moving to the offseason, that you got to have guys that can sprint east and west from a linebacker position, Boss Cowboy, outside of Micah Parsons, and stop people from ripping off 10-yard gains, right? So, yeah, the defense overall was okay. I can't say they played horrible, boss. We gave up 23. We scored beneath our average. At home, way beneath. We averaged 36 points a game at home, 26 on the road. Right. So we were below our average offensively, right. On just being on the road. So if we would have just got to our average points per game, Boss Cowboy.
On a team we knew was going to be physical. On a team we knew was going to run the ball. So obviously the first series, the defense laid down. But after that, they gave the offense enough chances to get in rhythm. They really did. They gave them enough chances. Just being all the way honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn on the phone lines real quick. Hold on real quick. These 14 penalties, what's your thoughts on those 14 penalties?
Man, I said it earlier, and I'm going to say it for the third time. This looked like a preseason game with your second and third team. Like, your preseason game with your second and third team shouldn't have 14 penalties. And so you play silly games, Boss Cowboy, you get silly prizes, man. And it's just a lack of discipline in the culture, and it's a lack of holding people's feet to the fire when they screw up. And to me, this begs of practice culture, because as a coach myself, if I see you jumping off sides in practice, there are consequences and repercussions. And if they're not consequences and repercussions, and it's not high accountability in practice, then you have this stuff roll over to the game. If you don't make that an emphasized coaching point of having discipline, then it affects you in these games.
All right, we opening up the phone lines. So I'm pretty sure y'all got something to say. I'm almost certain y'all got something to say. So we got the call lines open. 941-942-2100, 941-942-2100. I'm seeing some people say it's time to move on from Zeke. I'm seeing some people say get Russell Wilson just to compare and push or show Dak's sorry ass up. That's what my boy Devon said that. Somebody says Zeke suck in the playoffs. Hold on, okay. We got the call coming in. Here we go. Boss Cowboy Sports.
Boss.
Yo.
OC.
What's
How
up?
you doing, man? Oh man, uh, discipline, like you were saying, OC. Yeah, you can't have 14 penalties, and our Achilles heel of how we win games. Uh, I see Tony Pollard had 4 carries, 4 of those. I think 3 of those was I think all 4 of those in the first half. Um, I think we ran 1 outside toss with Tony Pollard. We got away from the run game, and we got into this, pass, and then our passing game got a little bit frustrated with penalties. And when you start letting teams get tee off on you, and they know you're gonna pass the ball, regardless of what guys have been, and when you have some breakdowns, then you get behind the sticks. And then in football, you get behind the sticks, it puts all the pressure on you to make every play. I thought the defense, I felt the defense rate would recover after the first drive because they've been doing that all year. They may have given up some stuff early, but they usually recover like they did in Kansas City, and they recovered and got their head screwed on. We're still with some big plays there, but they played tough to the point of keeping the game under control. But I guess, as a coach, and we spoke on this a long time ago, and I think OC and me and you, boss, we spoke on this. Physicality of the offense kind of reared its head all year with the team, with some guys getting beat, and the physicality in the run game. We played tough teams. That's something we need to work on. That's a big part of football. Most times physical teams go along, especially in this playoff situation. So, but they stuck in the game, and we got a good young team. But we just have to make some adjustments, and that play call at the end with the draw. I have no idea who made that call with 14 seconds in the game. Physicality, penalties, and clock management has been a problem all year long. And in playoff games, those 3 right there can cause you to lose games. Not being the most physical team, penalties, self-destruction on penalties, and time management, those little small things can rear its head and hurt you.
Yeah.
Haven't been sick like this, fellas, in a long time, because I really had this team. The last couple times they was in the playoffs, I saw some really flaws. I really didn't see the flaws in this team, but I have to go back. You got to be the most physical team when they get in the playoffs. And like I said, we abandoned the run game, and every game this year that we have lost, we have ran the ball less than 20 times. And I think we got our 2 running backs only got 16 carries in this game. So that's not going to win you football games in the playoffs.
Yeah, Coach.
Boss, you still there?
No, I'm there. I was just letting you go.
Yeah, I mean, 16 times in a game that was, in the balance.
Yeah.
So you gotta be committed and still see if we can get something, so we can get some play action and beat on them. Like I said, it's gonna be, the pundits gonna put this on players, but this is a team game. Teams win games, teams lose games. And overall, we didn't play well enough to win this game. We had our chances, but football, like we have always been saying, football is on the grass, and it's a physical football game. And the teams you see play physical at this part of the season are going to be on, and they're going to stick to what they do and stick to their identity. And I think we got away from our identity. Our identity is a run team that needs to run the ball. But if you don't practice that way, and your coaching staff don't believe that, they're not going to emphasize it or make it important to you to do the things you need to do. So we got to get another identity. We got to get to our identity on our offensive side and know what our identity is and stick to who we are, and then we'll be okay in the upcoming years. Tough, man. This is a tough one right here, man.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a good team. A team this good ain't supposed to go out in the first round like that. Not this good.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. Well, hey, dogfight game. We had our chances down at the end, but again, we know how to when we get in that pass happy throwing the ball out. We got some offensive linemen that just can't hold up to guys that just trying to run over top of them. And but we have a chance. We have a nucleus there, and we got a chance to fix that. But it's to our coaches and our management to see where we are and see what we need to change. I don't think we need to do wholesale changes and just tear the whole ship up. It's just some things that we need to do, and we need to realize why we lost this game and not blame it on nobody but ourselves, and understand that we got beat physically in a lot of spots, and we need to be a more physical football team and utilize those things. And that's, so it's going to be some changes, but hey, I know y'all going to be doing the film and the study and all the stuff, and you're going to look at it objectively like y'all always do. And I hope everybody tune in to Boss Cowboy Sports, because you two guys are going to do what they need to do to find out how we need to fix these problems, because we coming back next year and we're going to be better. I'll talk to y'all fellas later, man.
All right, appreciate the call. Yeah, good call by Coach. That was Coach Marv. He always bring that funk, former head coach. Whenever you get the chance from a head coach, it's always good to listen, because it's always some valuable perspective. I want to go through a couple of matchups real quick and just kind of talk about it real quick, because I'm gonna talk about something. I thought in the first half, my boy Lyle was doing pretty good on Bosa attempts for that play, that injured Bosa. He was actually, in my opinion, busting Bosa up, and I was really enjoying it, because I did have my eyes on that matchup for obvious reasons, to make sure Dak was going to be okay and to make sure he was getting off. He came out motivated, and I also like the fact, OC, I want to get your opinion on it. I like the fact that the first two people out the tunnel was Lyle and Tyron Smith. They were sending a message, it was a symbol. But I like how Lyle, he did play with another gear. Now, he still physically wasn't the match, and he caught up with him on that play, that injured Bosa. But his intensity, he was playing with playoff intensity. That's what I saw out of him. You know what I'm saying? And everybody know I've been on his head, man, and not in a bad way, just from being honest on a guy that I felt was better, But at the same time, I'm giving credit, man. I like how he performed early and up into that play. What's your thoughts?
I think that Collins probably played his best game of the season when he needed to play his best game of the season, physically speaking. I don't like his discipline.
Yeah, discipline.
I don't like his discipline.
Yeah.
I don't like and that physically, he's gifted enough to play at a very, very high level, man, physically, but like technique wise and mental discipline wise, that's where I have an issue with him. So, he played good, man. He did a good job. He got forklifted, in a play with Bosa, had holding penalties, had offside penalties, things like that. And those are the type of things that you hate. And it's funny, Boss Cowboy, that we bring up this and we talk about it now, because the two guys, besides probably Tyler Biadasz, that we've been on the most this year, Boss Cowboy, have been dealing with the right tackle position and dealing with the left guard position.
I knew you was going there.
So, what say ye or see ye about the play of Connor Williams?
It was the same. It was exactly the same. It was, he played the same, so easy to expect the same. Gonna get beat on a bull rush. Somebody go explode him on a pivotal play. And then holding to take away a chunk play. And then
and kill drives.
And killing drives. Yeah.
Killing drives.
So I
killing
mean,
drive.
This ain't I told you so. This is just what it is. So the future is obvious to me. I think I know exactly how this gonna play out. I'm gonna throw this at you because we're in off-season mode now. So Connor Williams is gone. You can't end the season like that. You can't end people might ignore it, but I'm not. Because, we know we need a better left guard. We know. People can argue that he was one of the best left guards on this team, but if it's a chance for us to do better, we need to do better. We just need to do better. That's it. And so I think what's going to happen, I think it's pretty simple, especially on how this year played out. The noise is going to start being to move now Lael to left guard. I really wish they would have did this earlier. I really did, because then maybe he would have been in a position. But I'm not going to be on I told you so, because that's also arguing woulda, coulda, shoulda. You can't predict what would have happened if certain players would have been in the game, because the game is played now. I'm not going to even try to go down that road. But I'm more so talking about what's the common sense thing to do now. We saw 17 games out of Steele, and we saw, all these games out of Connor Williams. After we evaluated the whole performance, to me, it just makes sense that you not go pay this guy. Not when you already got a guy that's paid that can just make the switch, and that it makes sense to make the switch. We saw him get power drive today too, even though he was holding up pretty good early. But eventually the athleticism will catch up, and boop, he got dunked up on his head. That's what it is. So now let's give him his offseason to work on that hip, get stronger lower body, and become an inside player.
Facts. And I do want to give a shout out to Shavana, I believe, who gave a couple $5 super chats. And I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but I saw the super chats in there, so I just wanted to acknowledge it. He just said we got a bunch of penalties and the O-line got worked. And so that was probably about 5 minutes ago. So I want to definitely thank you for the super chat and supporting the show. Appreciate that. So when you talk about Collins moving to left guard, I wouldn't even been mad if they put Connor McGovern in, because he would be stronger, right? I'm not even mad if they did that. Yeah. But long term, because you already paid the guy, to me, and this is just, if Collins ever see this show, this is just homeboy to homeboy. Like me telling him, like, man, start the powerlifting off season. Work on your hip mobility, man. You should be in there cleaning, jerking, squatting, front squatting, right? And then after you do that a couple times a week, man, work on the yoga, man. Work on your flexibility, man, and your core strength, because that's what you're going to need to really prolong your career, man. That's what you're going to need to stay around and be able to play at an effective level. Like, man, don't chill, man. Like, take about 2 or 3 weeks off and start working, And as far as Connor Williams, man, he's out of here, and he should be, and no shade or hate on him.
I'm gonna be like, oh my God.
What'd you say?
If he come back team friendly, bro, I'm gonna be, oh my.
He might come back team friendly, but you know what? I think here's the good part about this, and this is good for Connor Williams, for those that are Connor Williams fans, because I know we got some people that are Connor Williams fans, right? But he's done enough being a 4-year NFL starter to command some good money from another team that might need a guard, right?
Yeah, but
so he's done enough to get a good contract somewhere else, And the only way that he would come back. All right.
I'm finna fight you just a little bit. Could we see Anthony Brown again though? Out of Connor Williams.
You are going to see Anthony Brown again, because they gave him an extension.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I
You
wanted to
could,
kind
but
of push you back a little bit, like, because we are known to say, well, we'll give you 6 years to stop the bull rush like we did Anthony Brown. Shout out to Anthony Brown today, too. Shout out, before we go back into that. Shout out to Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown almost got us back in this thing. Shout out to you, big dog. But, yeah, Connor Williams, I think, man, listen, go. I would rather now let McGovern get his developmental reps. No, bye. Or like we talked about, move Lyle back inside, right? Cause see, man, the way Lyle was getting tossed and all that kind of stuff, man, bro, they not finna keep him at right tackle, bro. Listen. They not, bro. Like, we can argue about it as podcasters and all that kind of stuff, but no logical person go watch that performance today versus Milton Williams versus what happened against the Washington football team and then be like, well, and then think about what you will be betting. The last 2 years, he's come in out of shape. So you're betting, okay, he this time is not going to do what he's been doing since he's been enumerated, since he got paid.
But this is important to know. This is an opt-out year. And this is where the bulk of his $50 million kicks in, Boss Cowboy. So this next season is the year where he's going to get averaging $10 million a year, Boss Cowboy, and get that last 30 some odd $1 million on that contract, Boss Cowboy. So how do you handle that situation, knowing that he's coming out of shape, right? Knowing that you have a really, really, really high end, if you want to call him this, swing tackle, which to me is a good NFL starter, and still that's a backup. And that clearly, as far as everything I'm seeing, including his playoff game, outplayed Collins at the right tackle position. How do you deal with that?
Oh, man, I think you got to bring in competition. Even if it's some good competition, you gotta bring in some people in here, whether you draft them or you acquire them, that we all view as somebody that's gonna push La'el wherever he is. It gotta open up. Like, competition need to be crazy right now. Like, we like the competition this year. The competition need to be wide open next year on that whole offensive line, including T. Smith.
Man,
depending on how we draft.
Man, listen, we need to get depth and prepare for the eventual retirement of Smith. And he's a Hall of Fame Cowboy legend. No disrespect. And he played well today. But what I don't trust and what I haven't trusted, this is 5 years in a row where he's been injured and he has missed 5+ games. So long term, when you're protecting the franchise quarterback, and I've seen a lot of people in the chat say, I hate Dak, get rid of Dak, all of that. Okay, cool. And you could trade him and get some good value right now, right? So that's a good comment, Tyrone. That's a real good comment. You could, but will the Cowboys trade him? Nah, the Cowboys are loyalists to really, really good old school old linemen. So they're not going to trade him. They're going to give him a chance to retire as a Cowboy before they cut him if his play gets that bad. Now, based on this game, he played well at this game. So, he's coming in next year as the starter. But to me, I'm drafting an offensive tackle, one of the better offensive tackles in the first 2 rounds. If I'm the Cowboys, that's what I'm doing, because that does a couple things. That insulates you against risk of starting if you don't believe in Steele, which I believe in Steele. But if you think as an organization that, I don't know if Steele will hold up, that insulates you against risk there. It also insulates you against injury of Tyron Smith. You got to get more depth at the tackle position. You have to get more depth at the tackle position, man, in order for this to be a championship playoff caliber football team. And as far as the Dak Prescott comments, Dak Prescott has a 4-year contract with a no trade clause. Okay, So Dak is not going anywhere. They're not trade. They can't trade Dak, number one. They're not trading Dak, number two. And you're going to build the best team that you possibly can around Dak. But you know where I like to see more competition, Boss Cowboy, in particular?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to bring in somebody to compete with CeeDee Lamb. He's too diva-ish. I don't like his attitude. He's diva-ish. You need to, no, real talk. You need to show him, and I'm not saying you go bench him. I'm not saying that.
Hold on.
But you need to,
go ahead.
You listen. Based upon his performance, the last several games and the playoffs, I don't like his attitude. I'm seeing his demeanor being jogging out like, oh, if I ain't getting the ball, it ain't about nothing.
Me hot, man.
No, the effort plays. Look, if I'm not getting the ball, it ain't about nothing. I see you, Rick Johnson, with the $10 super chat. We appreciate you. He said, let's address the elephant in the room. The whole staff needs to go. Everything we've been seeing all year, reared its ugly head today. We are only good enough to beat bad to marginal teams. What say you, Boss Cowboy, to the $10 super chat comment? He went in, man. He went in.
They can't be only be losing teams. That's another narrative that's sticking on the Cowboys. That also applies to everybody except Brady. So just letting you know, everybody struggles against winning teams. I'm being honest with you. But it's something that we wear as an identity when that's everybody's identity except Tom Brady. Beating winning teams are hard. Let's not get that. Listen, we had to play a clean game to beat this team. We couldn't have all those penalties and beat this team. So, I agree with some of it, and definitely not firing the whole staff. Because then you got to mix. Like, you got to mix. Like, remember, we were so ready to get rid of Jason Garrett that we also threw away some babies with that bathwater that we wish we would have kept. Some of them. See what I'm saying? So when you get rid of everybody, you also make a risk of getting some of it right, but then some of it wrong. See, we at that place to where we can kind of cherry pick it. That's if Jerry can keep this staff together. If anything, I would say Kellen Moore, put McAdoo in place. You want to talk about that real quick, OC?
Man.
Yeah. Let's talk
this
about
is what
that.
I see.
Getting rid of Kellen Moore. Let's talk about that real quick.
Kellen wants to be grown. Kellen wants to prove he's a big boy. So if somebody offer Kellen a lot of money, let Kellen go out there and prove that he's not a big boy. Because what's going to happen in a culture and when the pressure mounts, and you got to manage the whole organization, is that you go find yourself in some tight games, and what's going to happen, you go lose those games. Because the team that wants you is a team that's not a good team. Any team that wants you is not a winning organization. So you're going into any type of job that you may get if you leave as the person that's seen as gonna be the solution. But based on maturity, based on decision making, you are not that solution right now. Not yet. You need to bake. You need to get emotional discipline. I think he's too emotional. That's what I think. He's too emotional, and when things don't go well in a certain clip, he abandons common sense and balance, and he goes all left wing. And when I say left wing, that means he goes 11 personnel and tries to throw the ball all over the field.
Oh my God!
And that is not Dak Prescott's strength.
Oh my!
That is not. So, Boss Cowboy, I'm telling you, if he gotta go, he gotta go. If he goes, holla at me, man. We'll see you later. Because in a couple years, because you're not finished cooking, you go get your butt fired. And then you're going to be an assistant, offensive coordinator, coach, or get an OC job somewhere else until you fully mature. So it's a blessing for you to have this role right now. I would say don't jump the gun and don't ruin it for yourself long term because you're not ready yet, and this season and this game proves you're not ready. And the truth will set you free.
Listen, people don't understand that organ. You'll get it one day. Listen, man. This is why I love people from Boss Cowboy Sports, and then we go take a call. He said, finally, boss, let's talk about Linehan's son. He makes that dumb face every time something goes wrong. Where was the 12 personnel? I have no idea. I swear I was thinking that during the game because it was 11 personnel city. To your point, OC, it was 11 personnel city. That 12 was put all the way on the shelf. For those who don't know what 12 is, let me explain this because we got a lot of different people listening. It was supposed to be at least 2 tight ends in this game, way more than what it was, especially when they lost their linebacker. Come on now.
That's when I was yelling. I tweeted. I said, and I tweeted this on Twitter. You follow me, the OC 100 on Twitter, the OC 100 on Twitter. So I said, hey, when you abandon the run, you put too much pressure on Dak. When CeeDee Lamb caught his first pass of the game, it almost was a pick. Dak got that ball in there. He forced it in there. That was the perfect opportunity to line up and run the ball. And as a matter of fact, when we got the biggest runs from Ezekiel Elliott, it was because we had some semblance of 12 personnels. Even when he ran those bunch trips formation, he would use the inside receiver as a tight end to block. Those were the biggest and best runs of Ezekiel Elliott. And Zeke had some good runs. You can't come down on Zeke and say he's trash because we know that Zeke is like fine wine and he gets better as the game goes on. Zeke did what he could do. Zeke looked his best physically today since mid-season. Physically, in terms of running the ball and what he did out there, Pollard looked like his foot was hurt, but he still did his thing. So you got to give people enough attempts to validate if they're good or if they're bad. You can't invalidate Zeke when you only give Zeke 8 or 9 carries in a game and say Zeke sucks. You can't do that. Zeke is a 18 to 24 carry back. So I see you 85 GT with the super chat. We appreciate you.
You got it, big dog.
I agree with Kellen. I agree that Kellen's time has come, but I'm not sure about McAdoo. I'm not either 85.
Let's go through that.
He said,
let's go through that.
Yeah. He said, but something went something.
Let's go through that. I don't know who I'm debating, but I'm debating somebody on that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm in on McAdoo, bro.
Why? Defend yourself.
All right, man. I don't need no defense of myself. I got this, big dog.
All right,
I was talking to my boy Spoon this weekend, and we was talking about the politics that happened in New York. Remember, it was more politics of why McAdoo was fired than actually his success rate. See, because people forget in 2016, it was 3 divisional opponents that was in the top 10. Dallas, the Giants, and Washington, led by McAdoo. Let's not forget the swag they used to come in here with Odell Beckham and teams not as good as us, and they used to give us some good ass fights, y'all. Remember, in the 2016 season, led under McAdoo, it was McAdoo and them that stopped our run. That 11 streak. Yeah, it was McAdoo that was leading that team. And you said this yourself, OC. You said this yourself. I did. Players reflect the leadership of, you said, yeah, the players reflect the leadership. So Look at the swag of former New York. Y'all don't remember that? See, and then what happened? He was trying to go on to the younger guy, right? He was trying to go on to the current quarterback, right? But when he made that change, it was backlash from the former players. And so the former players then put that heat on him. It was a political firing. We all have seen those, even in our workplaces, to where some people get let go because it was political and not actually intelligent. So what you actually sitting on is a gym. You sitting on a guy that's a mature coach. You sitting on a guy that's led men and that walked in and slapped Dallas before with a certain type of moxie. I'm not feeling it with this Kellen Moore, and if we go do it, I would want to do it with a McAdoo who was able to sit back like McCarthy, study all of Kellen Moore's ways where he can adopt some of those, but then go back to kind of intelligent play calling. That's my case on McAdoo.
And shout out to Dan. Thank you for the $2 super chat, my friend. Kellen didn't run all year, then runs it with no turnovers, I believe is what he said. Runs it with no turnovers.
He said,
did I read that right?
All year, then runs it with no turnovers. Yeah, he's saying Kellen didn't run all year, then he wants to run it when we not getting turnovers. That's how he's saying it.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, facts. Well, listen, here's the deal. The OC said this when McAdoo got hired, first of all. All right, I said that McAdoo was McCarthy's safety net.
Yeah.
Of another offensive guy that he brought in that was be more so his guy in case Kellen Moore got a job or something didn't work out with Kellen Moore. I said that when McAdoo got hired, Boss Cowboy.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I think that regardless of what happens with Kellen Moore, he can't have the degree of control he had this year. So
Kellen Moore got to get out of here.
However they sort that out, Boss Cowboy, he's going to have to get demoted. It's going to have to be a quiet, hey, you got to run this by your master teacher, McAdoo and McCarthy, and we're working on a game plan together type situation. It can't be, hey, man, here are the keys to the Lambo.
He going to have the keys here.
Because, well, that is the Joneses' decision. And
That's
here we
saying.
go again.
It's already been decided.
With them sabotaging themselves by leaving a Trojan horse in the room when they brought in a whole new coaching staff to basically work through them to say we have a voice and trying to insulate their risk with hiring McCarthy, which is not intelligent, by the way. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. Okay, that's not the strategy.
Say, let's talk about that Trojan horse because you talked a little fast on that, and then I want to take this comment about us choking every time.
Well, Trojan.
Because I did.
Go ahead.
I just want to kind of give us an opportunity to talk about that video that I did on the power dilemma between Kellen, Mike, and Jerry. Go to my channel and check that out. It's not even a long video, but it explains fully the power dilemma that's going on in Dallas just because of the hiring that happened and how it happened with Mike McCarthy, because it was a package deal. You know what I mean? It was a package deal. So once you hire a guy and say, okay, I'm going to hire you, but you also got to have this guy. That automatically gives this guy authority. So you can't move in independence, to the OC's point. That's why he's calling the Trojan horse. And this is, can I go a little deep into your Trojan horse thing that you said? Just a little bit. See, this is the power for Trojan horse. So if you want to do some bull crap like under target Cooper, because you really got a master plan to push up 88 by 2022, 2023, you got your minion that you can control. You got your Jason Garrett that you can control. That's why it's a Trojan horse. So Mike McCarthy, we broke that down here where Mike McCarthy had to beg. They say, are you going to target Cooper? He said, I hope so. You remember that?
The head coach said he hopes so.
The head coach said
that means you don't have control.
He don't have control. So there's a power dilemma. That's why we all should be praying every night. Just to be honest, man, that Kellen Moore take a head coach job somewhere.
Yeah, we should, boss. You're right, man. But you know what? He was practicing interviewing. Dan Quinn helped him prep, asked him questions, meaning that we get him ready for the future. And that 9 times out of 10, Boss Cowboy, he's not going to get a head coaching job this season, especially with this finish. If the Cowboys had made a deep run, made it to the NFC Championship, made it to the Super Bowl, then it will be much more likely, right? He becomes a hotter commodity. But with this performance, absolutely not, because he's proven to be a quicker fixer-up choker. right? When you look at any big game the Cowboys have got into and his ability to call plays and score. And I would say, except for the Tampa Bay Bucks game. That would be it, man, where I felt like he did a good job under pressure. But otherwise, man, nah, man. He hadn't shown up offensively in terms of scheme, strategy, situations in the best way.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. I got to fight you, because you messing with my hope right now.
Bruh.
Come on.
You messing with my hope. Because, see, there's a thing.
Come on.
Because it's a case that can be made for Kellen Moore on the outside. See, you on the inside. So, you and me, we go shoot him down because we see through him. But see, there's a cover over him. All this number one this, number one that, number one this, number one that, right? Number one offense. For the last 3 years, he's been having number one in yards. Teams sometimes not even trying to win Super Bowls. You know what they're trying to do first?
Sell tickets.
Yep. And if you're trying to sell tickets, you get your OC. You get you a guy that you think can put up what? Excitement. Number one in yards. Get people in there because this guy was number one in yards. He was this and that. And he was, you see what I'm saying? So your logic is sound.
Yoga fire.
But
Yoga
I think
flame.
But I think what Pickle Rick said, my boy named Pickle Rick. Hold on, my boy named Pickle Rick. My boy Pickle Rick. Pickle Rick. A bunch of fluff. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
But you know this because, see, somebody out here don't know the OC is a consultant as well. He does a lot of hustles, man. Listen, man, this dude is well-rounded in a good way. When I say hustle, don't think bad. Hustle mean good. He's a businessman. Man, you already know some people can sell a bunch of that fluff, bro. And you can walk in there all dapper and you can say, you know, I took that offense and I had it, And if you got a quarterback and you Jacksonville and you trying to sell what? Tickets, not Super Bowls, tickets. He could get a job. Don't mess with my hope, OC.
Bruh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to mess with your hope some more.
Oh, damn.
Because didn't nobody offer him no job yet. And guess what? It ain't. Look, I don't think it's going to happen, man. I think that Jacksonville can get better choices than Kellen Moore, right? The only way that he gets that job is if Jerry Jones calls and gives an endorsement and says, hey, this is our guy. He's ready. He's fantastic, yada, yada, yada. And I don't think Jerry, because of his own selfish purposes and his own favoritism and like for Kellen Moore is his new son. Do you realize that? See, Jason Garrett remained his son for 10 years. You realize this, right? You realize this. Jason Garrett would have bad season, bad decisions, questionable this, but it didn't matter because you know what? Jerry Jones is a great guy. He's a great businessman. I respect him, but he's loyal to a fault. He's loyal to a fault. And he is the GM and owner of a second, third, and fourth, and fifth chance. He is. He's patient with sometimes not the right personnel in terms of head coaches if he loves you to a fault. See, he loves Jason Garrett. See, he's starting to have that affection for Kellen Moore. And unless somebody else with power like his son or the head coach says, hey, this is not right, and they gang up on him to convince him otherwise, I don't see the move happen. And I'm just being honest.
Yeah, nah, see, you speaking from Jerry's standpoint. I'm speaking from other dumb owners. See, you think all the owners smart. That's what you think.
No,
I'm going to predict right now where he go. I'm going to predict right now. You ready? I'm going to shock you. The Texans. The Texans.
Oh.
Yes, I said he going to the Texans.
No. They re-signed. No, wait a second. They just chose to re-sign the interim guy to the head coaching job. I believe that news broke a couple days ago, boss.
No, I know they just fired the head coach.
You think he's gonna get the job there?
Yes.
What quarterback?
He fits the culture perfectly.
I know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
But what quarterback? What quarterback?
They go on him anyway.
He ain't gonna want to go and lose.
Well, I mean,
if he
want to be a head coach,
he don't want it that bad because he in a good situation. Kellen is not stupid. Kellen ain't stupid. Kellen will go to the Jaguars because they got a young quarterback in Sunshine, aka Trevor Lawrence, who has potential, and he feels like I can mold this guy. They got some weapons. I can grow into this. But he not going to a franchise with no quarterbacks. Let's move on, Boss Cowboy, man. Let's move on.
No, he could.
So, man,
he could.
No.
If you want to be a head coach, because how many times your name gonna be called for that opportunity?
Whenever you have a couple good seasons, a good season.
So when your name is called for that opportunity, sometimes you even go in the hell holes because this is your chance. How many people took the Detroit job? Knowing that's the place that, how many people that took the Browns job? Just because they think they the next president. They think they got the presidential skills to turn the country around.
So I hear you, Boss Cowboy, man. Let me ask you this question. Let me transition off of this, man. What do we do to help Dak Prescott? What was the problem with Dak Prescott today? What was the problem with Dak?
I don't think Dak played that bad, but that's also from a not really checking out the tape yet, not able to see what he was seeing downfield, you know? So from a television view, that interception was bad. I did think he did get aggressive. I think actually also Cedric Wilson let him down. Like he didn't track the ball right. You know what I'm talking about? When he threw that deep ball
he was off. Yeah,
Cedric
at the
Wilson,
end,
because Cedric Wilson, he turned wrong. He turned inside. You don't do that. You track the ball like good receivers. He was looking at the ball this way. He's supposed to just track it and turn it this way. He actually flipped. That's why he was behind on the ball. If he would have just tracked it and turned his head, it falls right into him, and then we win the game. For real. Dak threw a dime, and he threw a dime floating back downfield. I mean, I don't really know. Look, I mean, you tell me.
I got a few things. I love Dak, man. I like to see Dak put the ball on receivers because it was a couple times he actually threw one time over the middle. He missed Cedric Wilson on a route, you know? And Cedric Wilson was open. So I think it was a combination of good and bad. I just like to see Dak, and maybe this offseason will do it, fully trust himself, right? Like there was an opportunity in the fourth where he could have took off and ran, but he tried to extend the play, right, and throw the ball, and it was incomplete. So I liked it, but there was also, he ran for a touchdown earlier. So I'm not getting on him, but I'm saying I just see some key plays to where I don't see Dak fully trust his body. You know what I mean? And those are the things that I see. And I do see him missing throws. I do see Dak missing throws at times. It was a flare route to Ezekiel Elliott, right? He missed the flare route. You know, he missed the flare route.
He threw that flare route hot. That one that he bobbled.
Yeah, he missed it. Zeke would have caught that. Zeke got great hands. So I'm saying, I think Dak needs support. I don't care. I will pay Kitna. Bring Kitna back in here. I will pay Kitna. He played his best ball with Kitna, or some type of QB whisperer that can support Dak. Because I don't think that Kellen, even though he's an ex-quarterback, he's not a quarterback's coach. Because he wasn't a good quarterback or really a starting quarterback in the league himself. So I don't think that Kellen is the right guy by himself, if you kept Kellen, to fully support Dak and help Dak. I think you invest in somebody else that can support and help Dak Like, work on his nuances, work on his footwork, work on his reads, work on his timing. Tell him to, hey, believe in yourself, just let the ball go. All those things that John Kitna helped him do. I think you need to give Dak some more support so that he can consistently give you that top tier performance. That, Boss Cowboy, not just enough for you to do good in the regular season, but enough for you to be tight and win games by making key plays, key throws, and not leaving throws and plays on the field. That's what I think.
Yeah, because I definitely agree with you on the Kitna. Definitely. I think Dak played with way more confidence and was sharper with Kitna. I think Kitna, and I said this in the video that I did, because we did a lot of different videos this week preparing for this game. All right. We got us a super chat on the subject of Kitna as well. So this is registering, obviously. He said Dak definitely needs Kitna or that type of guy back. Yeah, I did a video on that. Literally, we did a video talking about the state of the quarterback room before the playoffs. And 85 GT, that's exactly what we talked about in that video. And we talked about, bringing Kitna back, and having a guy that had Dak at his best. Because, we also did a breakdown of the coaches on Boss Cowboys Sports, the OC and I. And I'm going to tell y'all, man, I'm not feeling Doug. Man, because when I say this all the time, you judge coaches by the group. If the group is getting better, it's a good coach. If that group is starting to go down, look at the coach. Because look at the group. And so Dak doesn't seem to play with the same confidence and the same moxie that he did when he had Kitna. He's still a good quarterback. We know, Dak is still a good quarterback. Dak is going to always average between top 7, which is outstanding. He going to always flatten out to top 7. You want that. Sometimes he going to be top 3. Sometimes he going to be clear number 1, depending on what happened in that game. You can win a Super Bowl with that. But I'm with you on that, OC, in terms of getting the best out of Dak. We got to, because now we're talking about the retool and stuff to do in the offseason. People need to get over to whatever pride they have and go back. Go get this man a call. This man is in the Dallas Metroplex. This man last job was working in Waxahachie as a head coach. He's also teaching certified. He's bled and died for the boys. He's retired and came back multiple times. He's been a call away. That's loyalty. Pay that dude. Bring him back and let him chill with Dak. I feel you, OC.
Yep.
I feel you on that.
Now, I want to transition and ask something else, man. Because a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of this in the chat. Do we need to draft another running back, Boss Cowboy? Do we need to draft another running back?
Yes. We definitely need to draft another running back, but at this point, I still got a whole lot of homework to do. So because that's why I don't want to overcommit to even being on a position in the first rounds, because I always want to look at the depth of every position, because then that determines my draft strategy. Because sometimes when you have a lot of depth, especially where we're going to be picking, if you got a lot of talent in a certain class, that's ideal place to pick. So for example, when we picked up CeeDee Lamb, remember that was a deep receiver class. Jerry Jeudy, it was Ruggs, it was Lamb, it was Jefferson, it was what's my guy that went to Pittsburgh? But yeah, it was a deep class. So any one of them 5 was gonna help your team because it was deep. That was also a deep tackle class, right? So when it was deep like that, from my strategy, it was about which one was gonna have to run. So that year, it was a run on the offensive tackles. So what did that leave? Premium receivers. Who do we get? CeeDee Lamb. So I don't want them, because I'm with you on getting a tackle in the first round, but I first want to kind of get through all my homework and look through all my offseason strategy. I should know in about a week or 2.
Well, the OC already got his top 10 on the board, right? Not top 10 by position, but my top 10 on the board. So y'all gonna start seeing that coming up pretty soon, man. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boss Cowboy Sports, and turn on your bell notification icons for the latest and greatest in Cowboys news. So, but listen, now let's transition to the defense, Boss, because, you know, we saw some good that you mentioned, Boss Cowboy, right? But in this particular game, if we failed anywhere defensively, where did we fail? But before you answer that question, I know I've been hard on a particular linebacker, and I want to give him credit for making some key plays in this game.
LV played fast today. He did.
LV.
See, this is why people need to know Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Bo.
This is why people should know we ain't hating when we make our analysis. You see what I'm saying? Because you can go check my Twitter. Go ahead and talk about that. I'm gonna go to my Twitter real quick. I said the same thing on Twitter, man. The LVE played better today. He played faster than I ever seen him play.
LVE almost made a game rescuing tackle on that third down. That tackle, and he held on. I don't care that he didn't just run through him. He held on to make sure that receiver did not get the first down. He stepped up and he actually fielded in the B gap and made a tackle there. Now, when you do outside speed stuff, you know, he's a half step behind on that kind of stuff, right? And that's just how it is if you just watch tape on him. And even today, he was kind of a half step slow on a few plays going to the outside. But in terms of, man, being there and playing like a linebacker, flying around and make plays, hey, man, he did a good job, man. LVE did a good job today. And I'm going to take it a step further. The last several games, I would say the back end of the season, the last 4 to 5 games, he's played his best ball. He's played a lot better. He's played a whole lot better. So give him his credit where credit is due. Earlier in the season, he struggled. You know, earlier in the season, he was not filling gaps. Earlier in the season, he was not running downhill at all, right? So at least we got some of that. But, you know, while you talk about your Twitter, I'm just going to throw one quick card in the pot, and I'm going to say something I was wrong about, Boss Cowboy. When we were talking about the draft, and you were adamant about drafting the Missouri linebacker who got drafted by Kansas City.
Yeah.
The speedy linebacker. All right, Shavana, $5. The OC for OC. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, Shavanya Wilson.
The OC for OC.
Okay, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate the love. But listen, here's the deal. We need another person, boss, on this defense besides Micah Parsons. Did you see? And let's talk about that real quick. Did you see the acceleration? Nick Bolton, there we go. Nick Bolton would have been a fantastic addition in the later rounds for us because he was available in the third round. He would have been a fantastic pickup because he would have gave us another linebacker that could run east to west, right? Because did you see the acceleration and the plays and the disruption that Micah Parsons did in this game once we start to release him? Ridiculous. He has ridiculous acceleration, Boss Cowboy. Bro. Ridiculous. And I'm a football player. I'm a football coach. And Boss Cowboy is a football player, football coach. Like, look, like it's eye-popping, Boss Cowboy. It's eye-popping. Like you see him flash across the screen. Like, who is that? Oh, that's number 11. It's eye-popping how explosive and how he closes on people. It's eye-popping, Boss Cowboy.
But I already see where you're going, though.
Yep.
Yeah, we need to add to that linebacker room. I see where you're going.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess as of right now, the day of the playoff loss, I'm seeing 3 positions that can happen in any order. Okay. Tackle. No, I'm saying actually 4. No, I'm saying 3 for sure. 3. Top 3.
I see 4.
Because I would say guard, but I think they can actually work itself out with a move of Laia. I think that could work itself out. That's why I'm not going to say that one. But tackle, linebacker, defensive tackle, 1 tech.
Yes. We still need a big boy. We need a run plug, dude.
Yeah. Well,
we need a run plugger.
3. Those are the 3. Whatever's the best available sitting there out of those 3, we got to get it. You know what I'm
saying? I'm gonna say 4.
What you gonna say?
We need another explosive receiver. We need competition and a little bit more competition in that room. We need another explosive, sure-handed receiver.
Boy, you serious?
I'm serious. We need another one, boss. We need somebody, because here's the deal. And I haven't watched the tape, so I don't know exactly why this happened. But we did have limited targets to Amari Cooper, okay? We did have CeeDee Lamb only catch, 1, maybe 2 balls?
1
ball.
Maybe 2
How
targets.
did that happen? Yeah, he didn't get targeted. So we need, and this is hard to find, we need a Deebo Samuels. We need a dude like that. We need a dude that can run it.
He was in another good wide receiver class. You can get you some competition at receiver, dog. Ayuk was in a deep receiver class.
I want it, bro. I want it. And number 15, number 15 for San Francisco. What was his name? I forget.
Ayuk. No, that's 11.
No, that was number
Deebo.
15 played. 15 played for U of H. That's Jennings.
Yeah.
Jennings played at U of H. He's UH alumni.
Yeah. Mr. Third Down.
Go Cougs.
Yeah, go Cougs.
Yep. Yeah, man.
I don't know if I should do that right now. I don't feel appropriate.
No, it's cool.
Yeah, just because they beat us with that dude. But
yeah, man. Hey.
Yeah, Mr. Third Down though. But nah, yeah. You see,
I want more competition. Yeah, I think it's a need, because what I
think
see,
you're being
man.
greedy, but I like your greed. I do like your greed.
No, I think
it's a good greed you got there.
I think it's a need.
A need.
Because I think it's a need.
Okay, hold on real quick, because this is interesting to me now. This is interesting. So what type of receiver? See, and I'm gonna say why I said that, because when I write the Boss Cowboy Guide, right, and I break down all the receivers, I'm one of the few people in the country that break down receivers by type. Most of them just lump them together, but there are different types, and I think sometimes you got to be able to break them down based on your team. The route runner, the guy that creates the separation, or do you want the guy that's a high point guy? Do you want a possession guy? What kind of guy do you think?
I want a slot speed receiver that can flex in the running back field as well. I want a Tyreek Hill type.
Ooh.
That's who I want.
My boy
That's
what I want. That's what I'm talking about.
I want to take the top off the defense. I want the fastest dude in the draft.
You want a DJ Moore. You want DJ Moore.
I want better than DJ Moore. I want better. I
you
want
said
him
somebody
to be
that can flex in that backfield. It ain't too many receivers built like the Deebo and the DJ Moore. You got to have a special type of build to do what you said.
Okay. Deebo and DJ Moore is exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
The type. The type.
I feel that.
The type.
I like that idea. I like that. We gonna get to work on that this offseason. Let's identify those guys. Because usually when you get something like that, it's only usually by 2 to 3 per draft. Usually. Maybe just 2. So we go find the DJ Moores, you know what I'm saying, and the Deebos, and we go talk about, why we should target those guys.
And we need a big, and to your point, and I know we got to get off this, man. We're going to let y'all go in a little bit, but, man, we need a big, heavy, mean, fat boy. We need a big baby. We need a big baby. I don't care. I ain't time to forget that 320. I need 350. I need a dude who I got to watch his weight. That's what I need. I need a dude. We got to go to your house and make sure you ain't got too many snacks and peanut butter, because you so heavy, you mean, you like to run over offensive linemen, and you just go sit your butt there like the Rock of Ages and refuse to be moved. That's what we need. We need a real, legitimate, big, mean boy in there. And right now, we ain't got it, man. B. Burley's $2.
I already got an idea, too. People gonna start laughing, but I'm gonna be right on this for the Dallas Cowboys. I already got one of my top marshals. People go laugh at this, but based on who we are and based on what we struggled with, I see a position with Dallas with this guy. You ready? Because now we're talking offseason. I already been kind of digging in the offseason. I need to double check. I'm almost certain this guy a free agent. But if he's not, I was just looking at the game today. OJ. I think we need to go after OJ. See, this is the reason why. Because, see, OJ, unlike Schultz, Schultz and Jarwin, he can block. He can block.
We got Sprinkler. Sprinkler does a good job blocking.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but OJ is a better offensive threat than Sprinkler.
Okay.
And I think he's buried. So, like, people laughed at me when I was talking about Curse. But see, I identified Curse because I knew he was buried in a deep room. You over there with Grunt, you not go get no act. So he gonna be a cheap deal so that if we start losing some of our tight ends, like if Schultz get away, who's gonna be a quality Band-Aid that can come in here and fit like Dak at the security blanket, just make them dump off throws and kind of stuff, keep this offense moving, don't lose too much rhythm. And because
we already got that.
With who?
We already got that. We got Schultz and Jarwin. Those are the underneath hash guys. So the Cowboys are not gonna get with them.
Because now we're in off season now, man.
Okay.
So I'm saying we likely. I'm gonna say it like this: we likely go lose Schultz, bro. And see, somebody said this. See, y'all gotta understand about these marshals. Somebody said OJ too injury prone. Yeah. See, the same thing with Malik Hooker. That's why I call them marshals. That's how you know you go get them at a deal. That's why
people don't know what Marshalls is. Oh, okay. You gotta break that down.
All right, so Marshalls is a department store, right? And they get most of their merchandise from high-end stores when they have too much inventory or if they have a flaw in that product. Okay, then if it's too much inventory, they'll then sell it to Marshalls at a discount, or then they sell it to the public, right? So that's why we call it Marshalls. So it's gonna be flaws, but they had former high value. Like he was a former first rounder. He was a go-to guy for a little while in Tampa, but he looked like he fell off, right? But if you put them type of guys in the right environment, they actually replenish their careers. I wrote 1 million articles on that. And this is something that New England been doing for some time. And you got to know how we go have to shop this offseason. Don't come to me and don't come to the Cowboys with this filet mignon appetite. You got to look at our cap space. So you got to know how to shop based on the budget we working with. So it's going to be guys that you kind of frown on at first, like a Malik Hooker, right? Like we did with Kazi, right? But if you get enough of those guys and you patch them together, you can sometimes build a chemistry with those guys. I'm dead serious.
And I want to move on to something. That's a great comment. Eddie Benitez says that Mike McCarthy is not the guy. Mike McCarthy is not the guy. What are your thoughts about Mike McCarthy? Is he the guy? Because a lot of people in the chat been talking about this. Is he the guy, Boss Cowboy? Is he that coach to help us get over the hump and really have the strength of character to lead not only players, but also his coaches, and stand up to the Joneses when he needs to stand up to the Joneses and fight? Yeah. Is he the guy?
We're going to talk about that because he said 10 million in cap space. So listen, we're in the off season, so y'all get ready. We're going to have us a lot of crazy ideas. Y'all ain't going to like them at first, but y'all better consider what Mojo just said. We only got 10 million in cap space. So we going to be creative, and you going to get creative ideas from this show. Going back to your question. Yeah,
and before you answer that, real quick, we got the guru. He says this: promote Dan Quinn, the head coach, and retool McCarthy as the OC. Y'all
No,
something else, man. Go ahead.
I say yeah. McCarthy is the guy. McCarthy is the guy. I tell you what. It is super hard to do what he's doing, and I know he's doing a much better job than Jason Garrett in managing the power dilemma. Okay, see, he's managing the power dilemma, and very few people see it, right? And very few people see how he's managing it. I saw him with that play call sheet today, OC. Did you?
I did.
I sure did. I saw him with that play call sheet in pivotal moments too.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man. Because I think he does a great job, man. He don't throw his guys under the bus like Kellen did, you know? Even when he was pointing at Kellen, people had to really, really read those tea leaves very slow to even see it. Like when he said, are we going to throw at Cooper? I hope we do. See, but he never said, I hope Kellen does. He just said, I hope we do. But you had to read between the lines. Most people didn't. You know what I mean? And see, he did it in a way to where he could still go to Kellen later and Kellen don't be in his feelings. You know what I mean? And then he spinned it so smooth when he said, you know, I love when Cooper get the ball. The crowd yells, cool, you know? And so you couldn't really discern that he was pushing Kellen. Target him. You know what I mean? And he was talking about the benefit. I think he manages the dysfunction of Dallas better than I've ever seen. I think he's one of the smooth. See, because this is Dallas we talking about. We're not talking about a person that has full autonomy. You have to be a political wise person to be able to coach in this environment. I think Mike McCarthy is doing nice compared to where he is. So.
Yeah, I see MG say cut Dak. MG, you cut Dak, you gonna lose.
Listen, man. MG, he not worth it. MG's a super
troll. MG trolling?
He's just a super troll. That's all.
All right, MG, that's cool. That's cool. I like you, MG. But no, MG, thanks for watching the show, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah, he watches it faithfully. He does.
Hey, appreciate you watching the show.
Yeah. OC, I know you ready to go, man, but let's take one more call if you don't mind. You cool with that?
Nah, bro, it's fine, man. It's fine. Go ahead.
All right. Here we go. We open up the phone lines. We've been talking a lot, so I just want to open it up to the people real quick. So we got the phone lines open. Give me a second. Oh man. Okay, let me get it going. 30. There it is. All right. Boss Cowboy Sports, your voice matters.
Boss Cowboy, this your boy, OG Dre. What's going
up,
on, man?
Man, what's up? What's on your mind, big dog?
Man, listen. Everything that you and OC have been discussing is exactly what I've been discussing, and bringing it to light, I'll say, to the regular football enthusiast, I'll say. But you and OC, y'all already knew this. We talked about Kellen Moore at length. Now, the point that you just finished making about McCarthy managing the different power points and struggles within the coaching staff with Jerry Jones and all that stuff. Here's my thing about that, OC. That should not even exist.
Right.
That is the dysfunction.
Yeah.
That's the dysfunction right there. And when you have that kind of dysfunction in your organization with a owner who brings in coach after coach after coach after coach after coach over a course of 26, 27 years, that's the constant and consistent dysfunction. Cowboys are only going to go as far as Jerry Jones will release the power of his head coach to have. There should not be a head coach who does not have full power as a head coach. Again, I've been saying it all season. Everybody want to talk about Kellen Moore, got the best offense, number one offense and yards and points and all this stuff. Yeah, okay, that's great. But at no point did Kellen Moore stop himself, pause, and say, you know what? I appreciate y'all wanting to interview me for these head coaching jobs, but right now I'm focused on calling plays for the Dallas Cowboys, and this is my first time, if I'm not mistaken, this is Kellen Moore's first year calling the offensive plays in a playoff game. Am I off on that, Boss Cowboy?
Yeah, this is it. You're right. Because in 2018, that was Scott Linehan. Yep, you're right.
Yeah. So I've been saying and screaming this all season long. And Kellen Moore is too immature. Kellen Moore does not know, he does not have the wisdom, he does not have the intellect, the knowledge, the smart brains that he needs to actually go to Dan Quinn and or look at these offensive teams, the opposing team's defenses, and look for holes to where he can take advantage of them. That's been Kellen Moore all season long. A point that OC brought up about Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy, he's the head coach for the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy has won a Super Bowl calling the plays for the Green Bay Packers. He's won a couple of several division championship games calling plays for the Packers. Jerry Jones is the weakest link. OC said Jerry Jones is a great guy. He's a great businessman. He's all these great things. But one thing Jerry Jones is not is a football knowledge guy. Jerry Jones has people around him that knows football. When Jerry Jones decided to take Kellen Moore, retire him, and make him an offensive coordinator, I knew that was going to be a big mistake. Now, all this year, you didn't hear Jerry Jones not one time critique Kellen Moore because, and I said this on the last time I called into y'all's show, Boss Cowboy, I said if Jerry Jones were to critique Kellen Moore, he would be critiquing and doubting himself. Making Kellen Moore the offensive coordinator.
When you said that. I remember when you said that. You concluded it.
That is the problem. That's the problem right there. Now, I was listening to y'all saying, we need to draft another running back, a tackle, a DN, and linebackers. Listen, we have all the players that we need. We have them, especially on the offense. OC said he wants a slot receiver. Pollard played slot in college. You got Pollard doing slot receiver duties, returning kick returns. Kellen Moore, what was it, last year or 2-3 seasons ago, had Zeke and Pollard in the backfield at the same time in one game, and these dudes had 200 yards rushing apiece. You can use Pollard at the slot because they're going to have a linebacker on Pollard. And Pollard's going to run circles around that linebacker all day long. And you can matriculate your offense down the field and get in the red zone and utilize that offense. Quick passes to the slot, Pollard, even dump it off to Dak over the middle, check down. Kellen Moore could have kept doing that this whole entire game. We would have won this game by at least 10 points.
Yeah.
Listen, man, this last 26 years of failure, basically. This is 26 years of no success. Jerry Jones have always had talent. We've always had the talent. But we've always had a coach that does not have full autonomy as a head coach, because the owner wants to be the owner, which he already is. And to me, that's the one title that trumps all titles. So it makes no sense for the owner to be the vice president and a GM. That's just the owner wanting to be so arrogantly egotistical to say, I did it my way, I did this. No, you didn't. It's been 26 years, you've been doing it your way, and these are your end results. The Cowboys will not get to another Super Bowl until Jerry Jones relinquished the GM title, he relinquished the VP title he got, and he relinquished the power of letting your coach have full autonomy. We haven't had any kind of success, and I don't know if it was you or OC. I think it was you, Boss Cowboy. You talked about McCarthy having to manage the power that some of the coaches have. Nobody should have any more power, other than the head coach. He's your head coach. He should have the power to tell Kellen Moore, listen, you led us this far, okay, good. But I'm going to call the offensive plays. Besides, this is your first time ever calling plays in a playoff game. I've called plays in a Super Bowl and won that Super Bowl. Jerry Jones, do you not understand that? Jerry Jones is turning 80 years old. He is Al Davis 2.0. So I don't like it. Well, I don't like it, but I don't agree with everybody saying fire McCarthy, fire Kellen Moore, trade Dak. I mean, just saying stupid stuff. When the fact of the matter is, it boils down to one area and one area alone. Jerry Jones needs to just bud the hell out. Give your head coach. You hired this man for 5 years. You hired this man. You're paying him millions of dollars to be a part-time head coach. This is and this dysfunction, it showed on the field today. It was complete dysfunction on the field today. Not blaming the referees. The referees, yeah, there was some bad calls. Yeah, there was some phantom holding calls. But at the same time, we caused a lot of those plays as well too. When you have a disciplinary head coach like a Jimmy Johnson or Bill Parcells, you don't see this kind of dysfunction out of your team on the field in a playoff game. That's all I wanted to just add to the show, man. We can draft and plug guys in free agency, get all this. We can hoard all this talent. We have probably the most talent on one team than any team in the NFL. The problem is we don't have the coaches. We don't have the offensive coordinator, I'll say, that knows how to utilize them. I said this on another show. Kellen Moore got all these supercars, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Koenigsegg, Porsche, Bugattis, and he don't even know how to use them. Case in point, when you mentioned McCarthy, in an interview, when your head coach is in an interview saying, I hope we target Cooper more. That should have told everybody the whole story behind the Dallas Cowboys walls and practice facility right there. Your head coach does not have full autonomy to say, we're going to target Cooper. And I agree with OC on Lamb. He's too much of a diva. Boys pouts and stuff, and then he drops balls. He's inconsistent. He doesn't run his routes like he should be. Dak is inconsistent too, but this just goes to the hierarchy, the leadership from the top. Leadership from the top trickles down to all the way to the water boy. All the way to the water boy. You take a great company like a Microsoft. Bill Gates is a great leader. You want to know why? His people want to work for him because Bill Gates said, I want to make every Microsoft employee that works for this company a millionaire. And what did he do? He gave, after 3 to 4 years of full-time employment with him, you got over 2,000 shares of Microsoft stock.
He sure did. He sure did do that. Man.
That's leadership from the top, and he's trickling it all the way down to the damn janitor. You got janitors at Microsoft who are millionaires.
Right. Yeah, man. We gonna take a lot of those. We go take a lot of those comments, man, because you said a lot. I want to definitely kind of match everything that you said because I want to get it in with you, big dog.
No doubt, man. Hey, we had a good season. Although it's a disappointing season, it's not a success to me because no Super Bowl once again. And I hope Kellen Moore does take a job somewhere else. He'll be out the league after 2 seasons.
Yeah. Somebody he's somebody that somebody will give another chance to. But man, I sure appreciate the call, big dog. We go tackle some of the stuff you talked about.
Y'all be up, man.
All right, brother.
All right, now.
Yeah, that was Andre. So yeah, man. What do you think will happen with Randy Gregory this offseason? OC, we will say this now. Especially how he ended, because he ended with a couple of.
I think that he's a guy, that you want to keep with his talent, but he hasn't done enough to demand a top tier contract. I'm okay if you let him walk and you try to get some other pieces, because there's other pieces out there that in the draft that are either in free agency that could get you consistent pressure on the quarterback. I don't see him as a top flight defensive end. I see him as a guy that has good potential still, but because of how the season played out and kind of with his injury halfway through the season, we never really saw the top of his potential. And I think that he just, man, he's done it in key games before where he just kind of makes like bonehead plays, jumping off sides, hitting people, like just some bonehead plays that I just don't like. And I'm talking from a coaching perspective, Boss Cowboy, and I'm talking as if I'm the coach and I'm watching it. I know you got talent, man, you got potential, but you make some bonehead plays, and I'm gonna offer you a good contract to keep you, but I'm not offering you no back-breaking type contract. I'm not. I don't see it that way. Not with him. I'm sorry.
See, because this is the thing about this loss. You see Montana? He said, I might be done until actual change happened. This loss was a real big loss because it deflated a lot of hope. We all know we have not seen a team like this since the 90s. This was the first time that we saw a team like this since the 90s. And to go one and done with this team, it's going to be hard to get people to believe, even with our record. Basically, people hopes going to start next year the moment we win a playoff game. It ain't going to be no more hope. It don't matter if we win 13 games, 14 games next year. Because you know what people going to say? Remember what happened with San Fran.
Yeah, nothing you do in the regular season matters. And my boy Dan Lazaro said something. He said, yeah, then Gregory laughs after he makes penalties like he ain't doing nothing. Which is true. and they flash the camera on his face, and he grins and kind of just hee hee ha ha. It's just a bad look, man. And it's shown that it's not taken serious, because do you know what happens on certain other teams when their players jump off sides and get penalties? I've seen this happen. They get taken out of the game. The coach subs them out and chews them out. He don't leave them in the game like he don't care who it is. Oh, you jumping off side? Are you idiot? He takes you out of the game. He subs you out. And then if the camera pans over there, you'll see a coach chewing that player out. That's accountability.
My boy
That's what needs to happen with a high-performing team.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this one took a lot out the fans, man. This one took a lot out the fans. You can feel it. The fans, cause see, we negative, but now we got a reason to be negative. Like, you could call us delusion in 2014. You could, cause that defense was full of no-names. But we were still hoping when that team won against Detroit, and then we ended up losing on the Dez catch, right? 2014.
Yeah.
2016, that team was led by a rookie running back and a rookie quarterback, but we still believed, right? And that team had a pass rush that was ranked 31st. So yeah, you could have called us delusional for thinking we was gonna win it with that team, with that big of a hole. This team did not have many holes. Very few holes. Like, this was a real good team.
Good team, underachieving team. And boss, I said this several weeks back. I said it, and I'm not trying to be right, but I was right. I say you gotta finish the season strong. You got to play tough teams in the regular season and get some signature tough battle type games done and beat some really good competitive teams that you're supposed to beat. And if you don't do that, I think it leaves a confidence void or execution void, to say the least, in you, that when you get into a real tough physical, you gotta have a game, you kind of come up short. Unless in the regular season you created a pattern of winning hard, tough physical games, you need to at least win a couple of them. And we didn't do that, man. We didn't do that. So, you know,
Jerry is the kind of fella that buys a Maybach and drives it himself. Listen, no, I can see from the chat, man, people are flat, bro. It's gonna be, and see, my boy Eastside Harold said we delusion every year. This is what hurt. It's mountains of Eastside Heralds just walking around. People that's Texan fans that hate the Dallas Cowboys, Green Bay fans that hate the Dallas Cowboys, San Fran, Tampa. It's always us against the world, and it's like y'all didn't even give us nothing to defend our team with. Yeah, you gave us the season, but we needed a couple of wins minimum in the post to be able to shut up dudes like Eastside Harold. Now, he a Texan fan. You can be in no worse pathetic organization, but even people like him go have equal energy, and we all know it. So it's not even just a loss. It's like, now we gotta wait. And will we see this type talent again? Like, think about it. How long we been begging for safeties? Years. It's been years, and we finally had a good safety room. How long we been begging for a one tech, and we had one with Neville Gallimore? How long we been begging for guys who got interceptions? They got interceptions this year. Like, for real. How many times we used to say, oh, Woozay, look back for the ball. We don't like Barry Jones. He don't get interceptions. These guys was getting the ball. And we was all saying, if you gave this offense just an average defense, they could go all the way. And they was better than average. Yeah. Ain't none of us hearing nothing from the Cowboys except winning in the playoffs. We gonna all be cool. I don't care how many games we win. Everybody gonna be just like this, OC.
Yeah. But I'm gonna give some good news before we get out of here, man. I'm gonna give you some good news, all right? Give some really good news.
This is the number one thing that we have working in our advantage, okay? The number one thing that we have that we can put some legitimate hope on, okay? Listen carefully. Jerry Jones's mortality. Jerry Jones is about 80 years old. And what do you think about when you get that old? I've seen people in my family live to 85, 90 years old. You think about your life, your legacy, and how you want to go out. Jerry Jones does want to go out as a winner. So I suspect that over the next couple of seasons, we are going to make some sacrifices to at least try to do everything we can to bring the pieces in to get a chance to win. So that's what I suspect, Boss Cowboy. All right, I see Casey Morgan. What's up, Casey? Haters love hating on the Cowboys more than they love their own teams. That's true, Casey. That's a really great comment. That's a great comment.
That's true.
That's true.
They do love hating on us more than their own team.
More than they love their own team.
That's true.
They love hating the people. We're the people you love to hate. You know, that type of deal. We the team you love to hate. But that's the good news, man. That's what I think. That's my prediction. I think that Jerry is going to try to flex and work and maneuver as much as he possibly can while working with Stephen Jones, his son, which is conservative, which we know that. He's going to try to do everything he can in his power to try to make us competitive with the pieces that we need. Now, how we cook that gumbo, Boss Cowboy, is different. That's the sticker, right? Because you can have all the proper ingredients to make a magnificent meal and then you burn the chicken. You know what I'm saying? You can have what you need and still screw it up. But the positive part is that I think that we go try to have all of the pieces, that he will try to help us have all of the pieces we need to potentially have success. That's what I think the positive part is because of his age.
I ain't even
say the good news is boo boo. I'm sorry, guys. That's all I got, man.
Hold on real quick. You tried, OC.
I'll tell you, Jim. Jim said the scramble by Dak at the end of the game was a huge mistake. You're absolutely right. Who in the crap called that play?
Yeah.
Who in the crap called that play?
You killed your clock. You killed your clock.
Who called that play? Kellen? Yeah, let him take a job. Yeah, please. Yeah. Call a draw with 14 seconds left. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. But you know what's even worse? You know what's even worse, Boss Cowboy?
Yeah.
You know what's worse than that?
I'm waiting.
And I'm sorry. I love you, Dak. But Dak, you should just call the audible, bro.
Ooh.
You should have just checked out of it. Because listen, you had nothing to lose at that point. It's 14 seconds left. You had nothing to lose, Dak. So what? You changed the play, bro. He called a draw with 14 seconds left. I'm trying to make a throw to the sidelines so we can have at least one more play and try to take a shot in the end zone. And Grover, don't laugh at me, bro, because you know Marcus over here and he pimped these buttons, all right? So don't even trip on that.
No, he wasn't laughing. He laughing. I don't know what Grover laughing at. What you laughing at, big dog?
He just laughing.
What you laughing at, big dog?
I have no idea what you laughing at. But anyway,
Green Bay
so
fan.
Damn. What I'm saying,
I want a Green Bay.
He is a Green Bay fan. He is a Green Bay fan. That's true. He is a Green Bay fan.
Yeah, he's from up there, man. God dog.
Yeah. He a Green Bay fan. So what I'm saying is that that's the sad part. That's the sadder part. Dak, man, check out that play, man. Check out the play.
Yeah, we need to get Kidner back in here, man. So that's one of the things we're going to lobby for sure this offseason. We're going to definitely lobby to try to get Kidner. Hashtag Kidner before we get out of here, man. Hashtag bring Kidner back in here because I do think we need to get rid of Kellen Moore, man, so Dak can take that next step. We need Dak to take that next step in terms of just being able to just say, you know what, I ain't running no draw with 14 seconds. I know how to manage this drive. That's crazy. Killed our own clock. Then the ref took his sweet time. Game over. The Dak.
And you should have known. Wait a second. To your point, you should have known because of what he did
earlier.
when we left. When we left the special teams on, when we converted the first down, we left the punt team and we ran the offense on with 14 seconds on the play clock. What did he do? Bend down, put his hand on the ball, stick his butt in the air, and take his merry time taking his hand off that football, and then we got what? Delay a game.
They did us like that.
You should have known.
Yeah.
You should have known.
They did us like that. They killed our clock. They sure did.
You should have known.
Yeah.
Why would you call that play? Oh my goodness. This just stupidity. That was stupidity.
Hold on. You ran that play after you was converted 3 to 4 going at the sideline throws. They was giving you the sideline.
And with 14 seconds, you had 3 plays. If you ran that right, you had 3 plays. They were averaging 4 seconds a play. They had at least 2 good plays left, maybe 3. Throwing it to the sideline again, or throwing it to where you can run out of bounds again. So ridiculous, man. We got to get out of here, Boss Cowboy, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, the season over for Dallas. We in off-season mode, so we will go into solutions. We all got a lot of homework to do. I'm gonna finish up my homework. We'll come back. We'll talk about how we gonna do it next year. That's what it is.
Yep.
It's a young team. That's a benefit, but we go lose a lot of people too. So it's gonna be very active this off-season. We appreciate everybody that also put in to Boss Cowboy Sports Cash App. We really do. That stuff helping. A lot of y'all put some money in there, especially for those videos. I got a lot of people that were saying, hey, I appreciate the video content that you put out preparing us for the playoffs, and they just threw some money in the super chat. So I obviously appreciate that. And then obviously everybody that's sitting in here, if you just been chilling and forgot to hit that like button, do that. Just go ahead and hit that like button real quick, because it's the final show of the season. Let's conclude this with a like, conclude this with a subscribe. Do the trifecta and also hit that share. We also have Facebook, okay? And that Facebook works the same, where you got to hit that like, but you got to hit that follow as well to hit those notifications. So do that and continue to share the content with Boss Cowboy Sports. We're going to be talking about these Dallas Cowboys and how to win 6 next year, because it ain't happening this year. Any final words, OC?
Hey, man, we had a chance, man, and we got to get better. And we got to try to push forward, man, and got a lot of research and great content coming up for you guys. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on your bell notification icons on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and you can follow Boss Cowboy Sports on Twitter. You can follow me, the OC100, on Twitter as well. We'll be dropping content and more videos. So look, guys, the season is over. But Boss Cowboy Sports, we just getting started, so y'all stay tuned.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters. Boss Cowboy Sports.